of Liberia. I'd like to welcome all of you again to the historic Charles William conference room here at the Ministry of Information. The press briefing is part of the regular function of the Ministry of Information. We use this podium every Tuesday and Thursday to bring you regular updates and unfoldings across all sectors of government. And we are always appreciative of the press, the independent press, for coming here to provide all the courage that we need to reach the Liberian people across the 15 political subdivisions of this country. Special thanks to the management of the Liberia Broadcasting System for providing us digital coverage. They are here in TV and in radio land. We say thanks to Brother Eugene Fagon and his team. The government and its international partners are currently working on an emergency evacuation plan to bring back Liberians from Lebanon. The action is necessitated by the ongoing clashes between the state of Israel and the Hezbollah militant group in that part of the world. The government calls on all Liberians with relatives and friends currently in Lebanon to come forward with their names, contact information, and current location and present these details at the legal section of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The requested information is crucial for the government and partners to track and prioritize individuals for the evacuation process. Given the urgency of the situation, it is imperative that citizens respond promptly, as there is limited time to facilitate this evacuation operation. While the government is currently working with an estimated figure of 50 Liberians, we recognize that there may be additional Liberians in the Lebanon who are not on the government's profiling registration list. The ongoing hostilities poses a significant threat to the safety and security of Liberians in the Lebanon. We encourage all Liberians, citizens and residents of the country to remain calm and patient as the government works to ensure the safety and evacuation of all affected individuals, whether to a third country of their choosing or back to Liberia. The government remains committed to the safety and well-being of all of its citizens, including those who are resident abroad. As a government, we are happy to announce that as part of the President's international trip, results are now being manifested. Results are now being manifested to the benefit of the country. And to that effect, we like to announce that Channel Road and Bridges Corporation is in the country for the feasibility assessment of the path to construct the Tottenham, to construct the overpasses or overhead bridges to be made from the SKD Boulevard to the ministerial complex. This initiative is a direct result of the President's recent trip to China. We'd like to emphasize that Channel Road and Bridges Corporation is a company contracted by the government of the People's Republic of China to construct the 2 overpass bridges for Liberia. This is a goodwill project from the government and people of China to the people of Liberia. In some quarters, Some are saying that President Boubacar has been traveling out of the country quite frequently. We say to those people that the resources required to transform Liberia, as President Boubacar envisions, do not lie only within the borders of Liberia. Those resources are out there, and our president has been making strides to ensure that his vision for Liberia, where he wants Liberia to be for the next generation, and not for the next elections, becomes a reality. The president wants a Liberia that is totally developed, with an improved economy that works for all of its citizens. This is the vision that we all are working towards as a country. The president was in China at the start of last month. A month later, the company contracted by the government of China to construct the overpass bridges connecting Tokpom Boulevard and the ministerial complex in Komotown is in the country to mobilize the equipment and resources needed to jumpstart the project. The project, we are told, is due to start in February of 2025. The company paid a quarterly visit yesterday with the authorities at the Ministry of Public Works to discuss their plans and preparations for the project. The Ministry of Public Works assured the group that the government has already paid for most of the properties along the corridor, and demolition works will begin immediately. President Boubacar continues to have confidence in the leadership of Minister Gaines and the authorities at the Ministry of Public, the Ministry of Justice that employs city solicitors, including the Bureau-based city solicitor who participated in the illegal action against a student to act against the particular city solicitor who reported to the Chief Justice. The government detests the unlawful use of judicial powers to intimidate and violate the rights of peaceful citizens. The school authorities themselves have come out to say that they did not request the illegal action against the students. As a government, we thank the Chief Justice for her swift action against these judicial officers, and we urge that this should be a warning and a lesson to others within the judiciary or elsewhere in the government who abuse the powers of the offices they hold. As a government, we speak and act in unison. The law will not be abused for private gains, and any officer of the law who abuses his office will face the consequences of such abuse. The Ministry of Commerce and the Liberia Petroleum Refining Corporation, the LPRC, have again announced a reduction in the prices of gasoline and fuel on the Liberian markets. The wholesale price for gasoline or petroleum motor spirit (PMS) is now US $3.70, and fuel oil, the wholesale price is $4.03. The retail price for gasoline on the local markets for our everyday people is USD $3.08, or 775 Liberian dollars. For fuel oil, the retail price is $4.31, or 840 Liberian dollars. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry says they will be monitoring the local market to ensure that these prices are strictly adhered to. The ministry says they are working on a new transport fare schedule, which they will release very soon. We thank the authorities of the LPRC and the Ministry of Commerce for acting swiftly to ensure that reductions in global oil prices impact prices on our local markets. The government is committed to improving the living conditions of our people, and we are working every day to accomplish that goal. Lastly, before I take my seat, let me speak to something that has been on some of the local radio stations. The U.S. ambassador addressed himself to a situation on high visa application rejection rate for Liberians. Ambassador Maxi Tundo appeared on state radio yesterday and granted an interview with Mr. Babi Kamara on the Super Money Show. Media reports are quoting the ambassador as saying the high visa denial rates for Liberians is not a U.S. government policy against Liberia. Visa denials are correlated with visa overstays. I read that again. Visa denials are correlated with visa overstays. High visa overstays, that is, you receive a visiting visa to the U.S. for a specific period of time, and you do not leave the U.S. on the date you are required to leave. I mean, you overstay. Those who behave in such a way must know that they are reducing the chances of other Liberians who may have good reasons to go to the United States, but will be denied because somebody previously receiving a visa to visit the United States, travel to the United States, and violated the conditions of the visa by refusing to return home or do not leave the United States on the specified date they are required to leave. We encourage good behavior from visa applicants as a government and visitors to the United States. There are legal pathways to immigrate to the United States. Visiting visa should not be used as a cover. If you want to immigrate to the United States, please take advantage of the legal pathways and stop embarrassing the image of our country.